Hello and welcome to the 4thDown Podcast. We are your hosts for today. My name is Alex,
My name is Mickey.
and I know it's been a while, but life, life happens. You get busy, but we're back. We're feeling really good, and just in time as we are about to unravel this weird season that's been already 6 weeks in. It's hard to believe with Thursday Night Football being the other night as the Cardinals beat the Saints 42-34. Now, there's a lot of weirdness out there in this league. A lot of teams that may surprise most of you. Maybe the 5-1 New York Giants, the 4-2 New York Jets, the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. That might surprise some. But here in this day, in a quick podcast, we're going to be talking about three teams that are in a really good spot, three teams that are in the middle of the pack, that are a little bit of panic, but not too much, and three teams that are going to be downright panicking. And then we'll give you our Super Bowl favorite. So I think we should go from the top to the bottom. So, three teams that you believe that are in a really good spot.
Are you asking me? Three teams that I'd say are in a good spot?
If you want to go first.
Well, if I had to pick three teams that I think are in a really good spot, I would pick, obviously, the Bills. The Bills are probably top of the pack right now for me. And then the Eagles are obviously undefeated. They are playing really good football. They are, I wouldn't put them quite at the level of the Bills, even though they are undefeated, just because I don't think they're quite there, and I don't think the NFC has quite as much of a competition. And then after that, I'm interested to see what the Giants do.
Yeah, I mean, Giants are 5-1, and my picks, real quick. Let's talk about the Giants. They're 5-1. Before the season started, according to the 4thDown Power Rankings, I had them at number 30. I knew they'd be a much better team now that Joe Judge was gone, but I don't think they're gonna be 5-1 start.
And that is partially attributed to their coach.
And you have games against the Ravens, Titans, and Packers. If you were to guess the Giants will beat those teams in the first couple weeks, I would be like, they're good. But, they're in rebuild. But apparently not this season. But yeah, I got the Giants who are feeling really good. The Bills, too, who are feeling really good. And I'm going to go with the New York Jets, actually. Because, one, we all know the Bills are going to be in a good spot. And Eagles, too. But the New York Jets, they're kind of like the Giants. Coming into the season with low expectations. Second-year head coach Robert Saleh. They did have an amazing offseason getting Garrett Wilson, the receiving core, other than, that Elijah Moore situation. But Sauce Gardner's looking really good. It's been a really good offseason for the Jets, and it's finally paying off after off to a rough start. The Jets are 4-2, and they might not make the playoffs, but they could spoil some postseason seeding for a couple teams.
Another team that I wouldn't quite say is a top tier team, but is doing very well would be the Vikings. Minnesota's not going out there and playing like amazing games, but they are winning games. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter necessarily how you win. It just matters if you get there.
Yeah, and I agree. And as we that's pretty much the end of our top teams. As we go into like a little bit of panic, but feel comfortable, the Vikings are my number one spot because yes, they're 5-1, and we gotta give them credit where credit is due. But the way they're winning games, and I know people are gonna say, well, it doesn't matter as long as you win. Yes, I agree, but
when you hit harder opponents, it does.
But their most impressive win was against Green Bay, and I honestly could have been a much closer game if a few things went Green Bay's way. But you're 5-1. They do have a talented roster. I'm not saying they're bad, and they do have a great coach in Kevin O'Connell. But they're a great team. They're 5-1. They deserve respect. But I do think there's a little bit of panic if they don't fix some of their little bit of issues. Don't know what the issue is because defense plays well. I think this offense kind of stalls. But I say the Vikings first thing. I'll worry about to add something or.
I have another team that I was thinking of when you're done talking about the Vikings.
Okay, and the Vikings. That's my first team of three for the middle of the pack.
Well, going from one purple team to another, the Baltimore Ravens, they have everything they need to make it work and just don't stop playing in the second half. They keep blowing huge leads. And, I mean, if I was a Ravens fan, I wouldn't be super worried right now, but I would be a little worried because you can't blow huge leads like that. You can't just take your foot off the gas.
No, I agree, and I don't want to put the Ravens in the middle of the pack or even like at the bottom because like their talent's there, but they just keep making mistakes. Like, is there a little panic? Yeah, but I'm not gonna put them in the middle of the pack. 'Cause I think the Ravens will figure it out. They have an MVP at the quarterback, Lamar Jackson, and yes, as we've watched a couple YouTubers mention it, he wants a lot of money. He's not getting that money right now. He's probably getting like $50 million, not like $200 million like he asked for. But
Oh, wow. What a shame.
I think the Ravens will be fine though. But a second team that a little bit of panic, but not too much, are the 49ers.
I would agree with that.
I mean, this is coming the day of trading for Christian McCaffrey, and I understand the pick. I know a lot of people were kind of a little bit surprised, but Elijah Mitchell was out for a while with that injury, and the running game has not been the slightest, and especially with Deebo Samuel returning to a wide receiver position, I understand a Christian McCaffrey pick. Now, the biggest concern is that Niners offense with Jimmy Garoppolo. Yes, Jimmy's a winner. He can prove he can win games, as we saw not only last year but that 2019 Super Bowl run, and that defense is outstanding. But can the Niners just fix their offensive mistake? And they lost to a couple of teams like, I mean, Atlanta's not as bad as what people think. They're good. They're tied for first in the South. But the Niners losing that game in sloppy games are a little concerning. But I think they should be fine. They're in a competitive NFC West. It's wide open. But that's my second team for middle of the pack.
I didn't think this far ahead.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Another team that I don't think is quite at the panic mode yet, but definitely I have major concerns about would be the Las Vegas Raiders. Again, they have all of the pieces to make it work, and it's just not there.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I actually put the Raiders in full-on panic mode because, but that's another story. But the last team I'll probably put, Niners, Vikings are in the middle of the pack. Do we want to say the Titans?
Or even the Colts? But the Colts are improving out of much faster than the Titans are.
True, but I don't know. Nah, I'm gonna scratch that, actually. You know what? I completely mess up. The Rams. The Rams, the defending Super Bowl champs. They're 3-3.
They need to protect Matthew Stafford.
Yes, Matthew Stafford missed like, what was it, like a bunch?
Record, not a record-breaking amount of times, but pretty significant.
Like 21 times already this season.
It's been a lot.
But the Rams are 3-3, and like I said, with the Niners, they're sitting on top of the NFC West in a three-way tie, which is hard to believe. But the Rams can get it together. They have Matthew Stafford, they have Sean McVay, and they're defending champs, so they'll probably get it together. So, I mean, not much to say about the Rams, man, other than that. So, yeah.
Okay, panic mode. Tell me about the Raiders.
So we both agree Raiders are. Well, you got the Raiders in the middle of the pack, but I think Raiders are in the bottom because, yeah.
I mean, for me, they're a wait-and-see team, and I know we've waited a long time, and we're already a third of the way through the season, and they haven't really shown me anything yet. Mm-hmm. But I still feel like they could.
Right, and I don't know, 1-4 start. Josh McDaniels cannot coach. A 4th-and-1 play. You don't give it to running back. Sound like another coach I'm going to talk to in a couple minutes. But the Raiders have all right talent. I thought the Raiders would be a lot better than 1-4, and especially, you got a couple. You still got to play the Chiefs again. You got to play the Rams. I think you got to play the Chargers again. It might get ugly for the Raiders fast. And even like some games that like they're playing. I know they play Pittsburgh Christmas Eve. They could lose that game and they'll get figured out. They are talented on offense. I love Devontae Adams as a Raider, too. Josh Jacobs is getting carries. Darren Waller's a top 5 tight end when healthy. And the defense been underperforming recently too. And don't forget too, they've blown a 20-point lead against the Cardinals. They've lost by 1 against the Chiefs. I know that's like easy fixes, but like I said, all that talent it shouldn't have gone to that point. So,
yeah. I would agree with all of that. There's no reason the Raiders should be where they're at right now. There's another team that I think is surprising everyone right now, and that would be the Broncos.
Yeah, the Denver Broncos too. I actually would put them on. I think our bottom panic list is gonna be on point. But when Seattle traded for Russell Wilson, a lot of the Seattle fans were upset. They were showing their emotions on the internet. But I think now it's starting to look like, oh man, we actually won this trade. As of now. Because, yes, there's still plenty of time, but Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson's playing probably the worst season of his career.
And that goes back to saying, just because you have top-tier players does not necessarily mean that they're going to perform well in every environment and with every coach.
And, Russell Wilson, I think, has 8 touchdowns and only 4 picks, which that's underperforming well. But, missing wide open players. He played great against the Chargers in the first quarter, and then he just imploded like, Nathaniel Hackett. The defense is good. Yes, I understand the injuries are a big concern for Broncos, but you gotta next man up. I mean, and Nathaniel Hackett's gotta adjust their game plan.
I mean, injuries do make an impact, but that is part of the game. You have to be able to adjust.
And, I mentioned or someone mentioned, when the Broncos lost Tim Patrick to the season, everyone's like, it's not a big deal. Jerry Jeudy's not catching passes. Tim Patrick probably would have cut him a lot of slack. But, yeah, Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson, I think, are the major 2 problems for the Broncos right now. But the good thing is, though, they are 2-4, and it is week 7. So, hopefully they turn around. And the AFC West, it's not like someone's running away. Yes, Chiefs are 4-2, but Broncos still got to play the Chiefs twice, I believe. So they could climb back up. But they got to do fast.
I would be very surprised if the Broncos beat the Chiefs.
They'll probably sweep. They'll probably split.
Yeah, I could see them splitting. I don't know about sweeping them.
And last but not least, but I have a full video coming about this.
Yeah. I have 2 more teams that I put in panic mode. Actually, they're playing each other on Sunday.
Well, the Commanders are just...
Yeah, the Commanders are just...
Well, they're just down. Like, they're lower than panic mode.
Yeah, the Commanders are just... I don't even know what to say anymore.
But, I do have a full video coming up about this one because I have a...
There's so much to say about...
Listen, everyone knows on the podcast I'm a Packer fan. And I know people are like, are you biased? No, I'm not biased. And the Green Bay Packers are in a full-on panic mode because, well, first things first, they abandoned the run game. The run game has been abandoned, and
which is insane when you have such a great duo of running backs.
And, Matt LaFleur's play calling has been very questionable in recent games. And a lot of people say, oh, well, about the Giants game and all that. This goes back to the first game. This doesn't go back to the Giants game. This goes back to week 1. The only perfect game the Green Bay Packers had were against the Bears. And other than that, Green Bay has not been a full game team. They usually play one half, and like I said, I'm not going to talk too much about it because I'm going to have a full video about it. But if the Green Bay Packers don't fix the adjustments, and Ben Troyce Newman. And also, yeah, the two main things is fix the run game and the O line. I don't necessarily think they should go for a receiver, in my personal opinion. I think they could probably try to get a receiver, but with Sammy Watkins coming back from the IR, that should help. But like I said, I'll talk more about that in another video. But I do think the Green Bay Packers are right now, and if they lose Commanders, then they are in full blown panic mode because you have the Bills coming up. At Detroit's not easy too, and then Cowboys, Titans, Eagles. Yikes!
Yeah, they do not have a give me schedule.
Your season could be over by week 12 if you don't pull it together.
Honestly, I honestly think if they cannot pull it off against the Commanders, I don't even know what to say.
But that's another video. Like I said, those are our three panic teams. Did you want to add it? Oh yeah, the Commanders too. But
yeah, I added the Commanders because.
But yeah, those are pretty much our three teams for each. Three teams that are just enjoying vibing the high grounds. Little teams that are in like a little bit of panic, but not too much. And three teams that are in full blown panic mode. And last but not least, who do you think are the favorites to win the Super Bowl as of right now? Before we head out,
I think it's the Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm.
On the NFC side of it, I have no idea.
Oh, I told you the other night too. If the Bills and Eagles were to play, I think 9 times out of 10 the Bills will win.
I agree, but I don't know that the Eagles are going to sweep the NFC. They might, but I don't. They're playing really well.
But yeah.
But I think, the AFC has a lot more competition than the NFC, and I don't know which one is going to be more interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I know it's kind of a quick video, 17 minutes, ain't too bad. But we figure we want to get this out there real quick. We are back to doing podcasting. We're feeling good. We'll try to get one out every couple days. So yeah.
Yeah. And say a prayer for my husband because we're going to that Packers Buffalo game and he might cry.
No. We don't show bias on this podcast. No. But no, like I said, COVID is coming out, the Packer video, and definitely do another podcast video about, I don't know, some other topics. So we will catch you guys later. Thank you for listening to 4thDown Podcast, and be sure to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and yes, I know, one day, Spotify.
We're getting there.
All right. See you guys.
Thank you.